Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra from Craft to Believe After, and welcome to another video. Now this week, you guys, I have been getting those Easter vibes. You see the patterns starting to pop up everywhere. We went into the city today, so we live really close to the center of Copenhagen. It's just a short train ride from where we stay. We went just for a random stroll around. I saw the cutest Easter decorations everywhere. I will share a few photos with you either. I don't know if it's going to be at the end of the video, maybe while I'm talking now. I'll pop in a few photos just to show you. Like, there's this one shop, it's called the Gammel Apotheek, which has got such adorable, I don't know, it looks like almost handmade type of items. I think not exactly, but it gives off that vibe. I absolutely love that store. I've showed you around that store in previous videos where I've gone into the city, but I absolutely love this place. I love, you know, they go all out during Christmas, they go all out during Easter, they go all out during whatever season there that's going on throughout the year. You know, I think, and not just this store, Copenhagen in general is sort of a very festive, there's always some other festive vibe for me. I love it. I love going into the city. But anyway, so today I did buy a few things. Finally, I took off the Christmas decorations from our one Christmas tree, and I bought a few cute bunnies and egg-shaped ornaments or egg ornaments, and I will pop a little video in here as well, because my Christmas tree has now been transformed into a Easter tree. I love it. I love having that tree downstairs. It's sort of part of our dining room. I love the lights. It doesn't look like a traditional Christmas tree, which is why I don't mind having it up all year round. And I think from now on, I'm just going to change the decorations based on the season. But anyway, you guys, this is going to be an extremely long video, so I apologize for that in advance. I'm going to show you a few things that I've made during this week, and then I'm going to jump at the end of the video into my Q&A. So I did put up a post on my community tab for you guys to ask me some questions. There was some really fun questions in there. I'm going to hopefully get through all of them. So as I say, it might be a slightly longer video than usual, but I love hanging out with you guys, and I hope you enjoy this week's video. Now, the first thing that I did, or that I made, is strangely enough not a bear. You guys, I know it's strange. I love making bears, but every now and again I will give you guys just a little bit of time off so that you can miss my bears enough to look forward to them in a future or next episode. But anyway, what I did this week, or the first thing I made this week, was actually a bunny. And I bought the book. Now, I don't have the physical book. I bought the Kindle version of Sarah Zimmerman's new book. Now, it's called something like Cute Crochet Forest Friends or something in that line. I'll pop the title on the screen. I'll pop a picture of the book somewhere on the screen as well. But you would have seen it around. It's a fairly new book. I don't know if it came out just sort of towards the last part of last year. It's fairly new. I've not seen a lot of people making projects from it, but I wanted to give it a go. Now, I do have the Kindle version of Sarah Zimmerman's first book as well. I've not made anything from it. I do love her as a designer, although most of the things I've made from her blog is the non-amigurumi things. I've made one bear from her that was a free pattern on her blog sometime last year, but I've done quite a few of her non-amigurumi patterns. I absolutely love her blog. I love her videos. She's a fantastic designer. So I wanted to give one of these designs a try. Now, you guys, I will give you my thoughts on the book as well, but let me show you. Now, maybe I should explain. I'll pop a picture on the screen of what the bunny is supposed to look like. So it's a very simple sitting bunny, very adorable. But as you know, I'm lately in this mood of changing up patterns, and I wanted to show you guys by just adjusting the facial features and how I positioned the limbs. It looks like a completely different toy. So I didn't change anything of the pattern pieces apart from the tail. The tail, she makes a pom-pom. I just crocheted a little ball. I'll show you that now. But apart from that one thing, I did not change any of the parts of the bunny. I just positioned them slightly differently. And this is how my bunny turned out. So on Sarah's pattern, these little legs, they are just positioned in a sitting sort of, you know, it's made that the bunny sits, so it's stitched onto the side of the body facing forward like this. I do like my bunnies these days or most days, and not just bunnies, like most of the toys I make, I do like them in this standing sort of position, more cartoony. I think Sarah Zimmerman's pattern is a little almost bordering on more realistic, not, you know what I mean, it's like a proper bunny sitting. You don't really see bunny standing up like this, but I do like the way that I attached the limbs. Her arms, she sewed right on the front of the body, and then, as I say, I just crocheted a little ball because I do not like pom-poms. They always come loose, especially if you give it to a little child. I mean, they can just pluck that thing out like nobody's business, and then you have a bunny with no tail. So I like putting a little ball instead of a pom-pom. But there you have it. Then I didn't use, obviously, as you guys know, I'm obsessed with embroidering eyes these days. So this is my little face. I just did my regular embroidered eyes. For those of you guys that's new here, I know there's quite a few people who joined recently. I will pop the link to this eye tutorial of mine in the description box below. And then I just made this very, very simple little vest. And I actually saw this. It was a completely different pattern, and it was a knitted vest. And I thought, no, that looks easy enough to do a crochet version of. Now, I don't really design clothes for toys. I can make pants because that's fairly easy. And now I found this little vest was quite easy as well. So I just chained. I made a chain to fit around the bunny's body. I connected the chain to form a ring. Then I did one row of half double crochets. The next row I did front post, back post, half double crochets to create this little like a ribbing. Then I just went up with single crochets just around and around. I left a little gap on one of the rows. So to make a gap for the arm, I just went around, I chained 5, I skipped a few stitches, I think 3 actually, or 5. I don't think I skipped the same amount that I chained, but you know, just a big enough gap that you can poke the arm through. And then I made the very last row is double crochets, just to give it like this little collar type of look. And that is it. So exact same pattern from Sarah Zimmerman's book, adjusting just where I put the limbs. It looks like a completely different toy. Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, we've got so many books, you know, all of us. We've got access to an immense amount of amigurumi resources. There's free patterns galore out there where we can get inspiration for some clothing, exactly like I did with this one. And most of us has got the skills. Actually, I think all of us have got the skills to sort of finagle some or other outfit if we really put our minds to it. Like I say, this is like just a tube that I crocheted straight up. I just left 2 gaps for the arms. Nothing fancy about it at all. There's a little pin. As you know, I'm obsessed with these little enamel pins. I put them on everything because it's such a cute little touch. But there you have it. This was my first pattern with me being in the Easter vibes, you guys. I'm feeling the Easter vibes. So this cute little bunny from Sarah Zimmerman's book, my first project for the week. Now the second project, and this project, I've had it on my favorites on Etsy for months. Every time I go in there, I look at it and I'm like, oh, should I buy it? Should I not buy it? I'm not sure. I'm not in the mood to make it. And when I finished my bunny and I went onto Etsy, when I saw this pattern, I knew I've got to make it now. I've got to make it right away before this feeling passes again. And I'm just going to be, sad that I didn't do it. So Saturday morning, today is Sunday, the 3rd of March. Yesterday on Saturday morning, I bought the pattern. I went to work on it straight away and I finished this adorable little ducky. I mean, is it not fantastic? This is just such a cute spring. I don't know if it is Easter. It's giving me Easter vibes, but maybe, everything recently has given me Easter vibes. But look at this cute little duck. It is so simple to make. I think the thing that took me the longest was this little flower, because it's got 7 little petals that you've got to do separately and then crochet on. This took the longest because this guy is not difficult to do at all. The only thing I'm sorry about is that I used safety eyes. Now the pattern, I used safety eyes, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do safety eyes this time. And the minute I put it in, I regretted it. I wish I had done embroidered eyes. I would have loved to see what it looked like. So maybe I will do another one of these cute little duckies. Now for both of these, you guys, I used Confection DK from Crochet Society. I've got tons of this yarn from previous Crochet Society subscription boxes. I've got all of the yarn that I received in my advent calendar last year because I didn't make any of the projects. I didn't like any of the projects they brought out. But I love the yarn. So for both of these, I used Confection DK. This little vest was made with the Lion Brand Mandala Ombre. I really like the colors. So I'm trying to get through my one cake, so making small little projects for amigurumi with it. And then this one was all Confection DK. As I said, I've got loads of colors. Didn't take much yarn at all. Now those little balls that you get, the little Crochet Society or the Confection DK, they come in 33-gram balls. And I made this entire little ducky and I still have yellow left over. So this did not take a lot of yarn at all. Really love how it turned out. For this one, I used a 3mm hook. And on this one, I used a 2.5mm hook. I'm not sure why I decided to use a smaller hook for this one. I don't know, 2.5 is my favorite hook anyway for amigurumi. So I just used a 2.5 and this one was a 3. But I just love it. Don't you guys just love these spring/Easter patterns that's just popping up everywhere? It's fantastic. Now on the Easter vibes, when we went to the city today, one of my favorite shops, Flying Tiger, I think there's some places around the world that's also got a Flying Tiger type of shop. It's like a Five Below or it's like a shop that has something of everything and it's not very expensive. I bought these ones to use, sort of together with little bunnies that I want to make. And I'll show you, that's so cute. That little leggy bunny I did last week. I thought if you put one of these, it looks like a little carrot. Look at how adorable this is. So it comes with 4 of these little carrot-shaped highlighters. It's a highlighter. Look at that. Is that not adorable? I couldn't resist it. I love finding these weird things that you can use for something in the future. So now I've got these 4 little carrot shaped highlighters that I want to try and use when I do bunnies. So as a little prop to hold, if you do a little gifts for kids, little Easter baskets. I mean, I think these would be so much fun to pop into a basket as well. You know, little pens or you get pens of these as well, these little highlighters. I think they're just super fun. So I thought I'd show you guys these cute little fun Easter find that I picked up today. The other thing I picked up at Flying Tiger, and this was sort of on the discounted rack because it was a Valentine's Day card type of a thing. So when I saw this, okay, so this is what it looked like. This is the little message on it. Now, I don't know if you guys are like this, but when I see something like this, my brain immediately goes, I can do something similar or I can do something better. I mean, this is just screaming for me to remake it in a crochet/crafty way. And this is exactly what I did. So when we got home from the shops today, immediately I've got like a load of scrapbooking supplies lying around. I've always got cardboard and cards and stickers and what have you. So I just pulled out 2 or 3 things. I've got my laminator. Now my laminator is one of the best purchases I've ever made for my crafting life. I use my laminator quite a lot. And this is what I made. So this cute little sticker, just look at that. You make life bearable. This little thing I just printed right from, like, I googled bear puns, and I mean, you get images galore. So I just printed that little image off. This little bear, you'll remember, it was the teeny tiny bear from the Lillelise book that I made like very recently. I showed it 1 or 2 videos ago. So it's tiny. It's exactly almost the size as this bear. And I mean, to be honest, you guys, this one looks better. No offense to whoever whipped up that poor little thing. But this is an example of just how versatile crochet is. And I have been on a kick. Well, I think I'm just forever on a kick of trying to see how I can use crochet in different types of gifting. And I mean, this is adorable. So anyone making like cards for children or markets or friends or I don't know what. I mean, there's probably a million ways to use it. There's so many different of these types of bear sayings out there. The same with bunnies. I mean, you saw the leggy bunny from Joe's Web. I mean, a lot of people have been making that leggy bunny. I mean, there's just a lot of bunny sayings that you can use and do a similar type of thing, like make a similar cute little card for a bunny. But I thought this turned out adorable. So it's just like an A5 piece of card that I just glued some paper on, put a sticker on, and then I made 2 little holes and I tied my little bear to it. So what do you guys think? What a fun idea. I mean, there's so many things we as crocheters can do. All right, that is it for the makes for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Something different than my usual bear makes. Just quickly show you again. I think this one is the make of the week for me. I absolutely love it. I love it. So I will pop the patterns for everything. So this one from the book, this one from a pattern. I will link all of it down below. All right, you guys. Now the second part of this video is going to be the Q&A. Now I did print out the questions, so I will be looking down and reading it. I'm just going to start from the top. I don't think this is specifically the order that I received it in, but I'm going to try and go through them all. So there's been some fun questions. Thank you guys so much for putting your questions on my community tab. I love watching Q&As from YouTubers that I'm subscribed to, so I hope this will be a fun way for you to get to know me just a teeny tiny bit better. All right, let's get into it. So the first question I got: what do you do for work? What is your favorite music? Do you listen to or watch anything in particular when you crochet? How many languages can you speak? All right, so this was from the same person. What do I do for work? I'm an administrator. So I am the team admin or the team administrator for a team working in risk communication. So my team, they do all sorts of risk communication within health emergencies. And I do, for instance, their travels, I arrange meetings, I do contracts with suppliers. So all sorts of admin type of work for this specific team that handles risk communication. What is your favorite music? Now, I do listen to a wide variety of music. I like pop music, I think probably the most. It's the one genre that I enjoy the most, but I really enjoy classical music. I do listen to rock. I listen to, I don't know, just a wide variety. I think I enjoy most types of music. I will listen to most types of music. I think I'm not specifically like a heavy metal type of person, although one of my favorite songs, and you have got to listen to it if you have the chance, it is the version of The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. Now, Disturbed, I think they're actually a heavy metal band. I don't listen to anything else of theirs, but their version of The Sound of Silence is brilliant. I love it. So I do listen to a wide variety of music. Pop, probably my favorite. And then I think classical music following very closely onto that one. Next question. Do you listen to or watch anything in particular when you crochet? No, not anything in particular. I do like listening to audiobooks these days, because with audiobooks, while that is playing, I can also have my pattern open on my tablet. Whereas if I watch YouTube, which I do on my tablet, then I've got to pause and go to my pattern, or I've got to have my pattern on my phone, because the majority of my patterns I've got electronically. So I do enjoy listening to audiobooks. The last one I listened was The Moving Finger by Agatha Christie. I just finished it like 2 days ago. And then I've been watching The Avatar. Now we did watch, it's on Netflix. It's a new series that came out. We watched the animation years ago. Avatar, The Last Airbender. So now they've got this live action Avatar series that I've really enjoyed. Like, I've been watching it the last week or two. So that's sort of the series that I've been watching the most. Other than that, I just watch random YouTube. Then the last question in this comment: how many languages can you speak? I can only speak 2.5. Now, I'm Afrikaans, first language. Then I speak English as a second language, and I can speak a tiny bit of Danish. I've only passed 1 out of 5 modules so far. I must admit, I'm not putting a lot of effort into my Danish, but I can follow a conversation very slowly. I can say a very few words in Danish. For instance, I will give you a tiny example. Jeg kan tale kun lidt dansk, men det svært. Which means I can speak a little Danish, but it is difficult. So hopefully one day I'll be able to say I can speak 3 languages. At the moment, I can only speak 2 languages fluently and snippets of a third. Alrighty, next question. This may be too sensitive a topic, but are you a Springboks fan? Yes. This was from my dear friend Mary over at Slow Crochet. Yes, I am a Springboks fan. Springboks, you guys, are the national rugby team of South Africa. South Africa is a massive rugby playing country. And I am a Springboks fan. I'm a true South African in that sense. I love rugby. We don't watch rugby as much since we moved to Denmark because we've got to get a very specific streaming service to see international rugby, which we don't really do. So if there's big matches being played, we actually listen to it on like a radio type streaming. But yes, I am a Springboks fan. Next question. How long have you been crocheting and who taught you? I've been crocheting for 10 years. So I'm 45 at the moment. I learned to crochet when I was 35 and I learned from YouTube videos. That's it. Before the age of 35, I had not picked up a crochet hook at all. I'd never learned to crochet before I was 35. And I don't know, I just sort of started seeing people doing amigurumi. I wasn't very familiar with it. I saw a girl who was with me in school. She did a lot of knitted and crochet toys, and I just thought, I really want to try that. So one day I just decided as a New Year's resolution, I'm gonna see if I can manage to find a YouTube video, teach myself how to crochet, and well, here you have it. 10 years later, I've not put down my crochet hook. I love it. So I've only been crocheting for 10 years. Next question. What is the pattern or designer on your list of things, amigurumi or toys, that you want to make for a long time, but you are intimidated to make? Now, this was actually an easy one. When I read this question, I knew exactly what I would put down. Now, I can't remember the designer, but I'll pop a picture of this pattern. And I have had this pattern for a long time. It's months and months. I'm dying to make this pattern. And you guys, it is a doll, as you would have seen from the photo, which is very out of my comfort zone. Like, I've made dolls, but this specific doll is so detailed. She just caught my eye. She has my heart. I've got to make her at some point, but I just find every time I open up the pattern and I look at the immense amount of work that you do on that doll, I just close the pattern back up again. So I've got to find a time where I'm actually committed to sitting down and doing that pattern, because it will take me quite a while. So that is the one pattern that's been on my list for a very long time that I want to make. Also, I want to make another crochet confetti doll. I have made one in the past for one of the Christmas collabs that I did with Caroline and Julie. I think the Christmas of 2022. But I took the easy way out. I did one of the dolls that did not have a lot of hair, because I think the hair is the thing that puts me off making dolls. So that's on my list. Dolls. I mean, can you believe it? But that first little picture I showed you, that is top of my things that I really want to make, but I'm horrifically intimidated by it. So we'll see when eventually I get to that one. Then another question that Chantel asks here: which amigurumis that you made are you most proud of and why? I'm not sure I've got a specific answer to this one. There's a lot of toys over the years that I've enjoyed making. Actually, the majority of things that I make, I do enjoy. The one thing that I really loved making is when we were back in South Africa, for one Valentine's Day, I crocheted a bear for every girl in my son's class. I think he was grade 6, and I crocheted a bear, the same bear pattern, but different colors for each of the girls in his class. And I'll pop a photo of that one on. That project I really enjoyed. I think the projects I enjoy a lot are the ones that I make for a specific purpose, going to a specific person. Like that project, I knew it was going to those specific group of girls. But it's always the things that I've made for a purpose, like if it goes to a specific charity or it's been donated to a specific cause. Those are the types of things that I enjoy making the most, or that I'm most proud of. Next question. What is your favorite food, your favorite creation, and the one you hate? Also, when you're not crocheting, what do you enjoy doing most? My favorite food, I'm a simple gal. I like chicken pie. So for a meal, if I was on death row and I had to choose my final meal, I would choose chicken pie. And strangely enough, my favorite dessert is apple pie. Although I don't specifically like fresh apples, but apple pie with cream, my favorite dessert. What was next? Your favorite creation. As I mentioned in my previous comment, I don't have a favorite. There's a lot of toys that I enjoyed making. And it is often the ones that take a bit more time. I've got this one bear that's wearing a blue jacket. He's got these little sneakers on. I really, really liked how that project turned out. That's one of my favorite makes. You know, most bears that I do turns out to be favorite projects. So I don't think there's one specific project that's my favorite. I do have a least favorite, or very close to least favorite, and that was for one of our Hooking Up with Books project. It was this male doll that I made from, it's a very famous book. Now, I can't even remember now the name of the book. I'll pop the name on the screen. You'll all know the book. You'll know the designer. The dolls are very, very popular. But I made this doll and I just hated every second of working on that doll. And I will never make anything from that book. I think, again, it was just, for some reason, I did not enjoy working on that project at all. So it was that doll that I made. I didn't like it. So that's it. I think that's my least favorite. Then also, when you're not crocheting, what do you enjoy doing most? I do enjoy reading. Although I must admit that crocheting takes up the majority of my free time. So although I do enjoy sewing, I enjoy, as I say, reading, I enjoy watching YouTube. I don't know. I think at the moment, if I've got a lot of spare time, a lot of that spare time goes into crocheting, thinking about crochet, designing crochet, doing these videos, editing. So a lot of my spare time is taken up by my crochet life. But outside of that, reading, definitely sewing, you know, those are the types of things I enjoy doing a lot. Next question. What do you miss the most about living in South Africa? I can't remember if you said you were married or not, but how long if so? What's your favorite thing to do as a family? What is something you've never crocheted but would like to one day? Do you remember how your love for bears started? What do I miss most about living in South Africa? Honestly, the sun. Copenhagen, Denmark, it's a beautiful, beautiful country. I love living in Copenhagen, but the weather here is terrible. It is truly terrible. So I do miss the sun. I miss mountains because Denmark is extremely flat. You barely see a hill in this place. So I do miss mountains. Obviously, we miss those big family gatherings as well. So even though, you know, we've coped fine, adjusted really well to living in Denmark, we do miss big family gatherings. You know, those big Christmases where all the kids and all the grandkids and everyone is there and it's chaos, and we do miss that. I think that is probably the things that I would say I miss the most: the sun, the mountains, the family. I am married. I've been married this year, my husband and I will be married 19 years. We actually met in school. So we were really good friends in school. We even went to our matric dance, which is like a prom, like the final, like before you leave school, you have this big matric dance. We went to the matric dance together, although we were only friends at the time. We started dating 2 years after school. And we've been married for 19 years. Dated for 5 years, then got married for 19. What is your favorite thing to do as a family? We do like going on trips. So we like as a family going on holiday together. In South Africa, we went to this one place. It's called Klein Kariba. It's like just a resort. You can do fishing. We always used to live in these wooden cabins. But we still, every year, we do like going away as a family. We love playing board games. Like, we are obsessed with board games, and especially now that the kids are, much older, it gets easier to do a wider variety of board games with them. So this is what we love doing as a family. We love playing board games. What is something you've never crocheted but would like to one day? Now, believe it or not, I would like to make a cardigan. I don't know if it's in the near future for me. I've never crocheted a proper wearable for myself, but I would like to do something like the hexicardie or something like that. I don't know. I will have to see if that makes it onto my hook one day, if I do actually finish it, because I did start like the hobby No Shades of Grey cardigan last year. I only got to like day 2 of like 7 or something days, and it was just, I'm never going to finish that thing. So hopefully one day I'll be able to finish a cardigan. Do you remember how your love for bears started? No, I don't. I do remember when I was very young, like primary school, I had this one bear that I absolutely loved. And I've got vivid memories of having this bear in my room. It was like a bear that you got from one of our clothing type of stores, Edgar's. They brought this bear out every Christmas. I've always wanted one. One year my parents got me one for my birthday. So it's like this cute fluffy bear, and it had a little like a Santa hat on in green and red stripes. And I remember loving that bear. But I don't know. So I've got, that is like the first memory I've got of knowing that I love bears. And I think it just never went away. When my kids were born, that was like the license for me to go out and buy an obscene amount of toys. I love, to this day, I love toy shopping. I still, anytime we're in the city, I love going into toy shops. So I just always have had a love for toys. I've always had a love for bears. I think they're just really classic and they're really comforting. So my love for bears is quite strong. Alrighty, next question. Let's see what it says. I love the little extras that you do, like the embroidery eyes, polymer clay accents, and so on. It adds to your artistic creativeness. Have you always been artistically creative? Yes. I come from a very creative family. My mother does a lot of crafting. She paints. She has done sculpting. She has done woodwork. She just does all sorts of things. She does sewing. So a lot of my family are very creative. And I think I've just always loved it. I love, like I say, sewing. So when we moved to Denmark, I actually bought myself a sewing machine. I love sewing, polymer clay. I love writing. Actually, I think in an ideal world, I would have loved to write children's books. Maybe I will still do that one day. So I like the process of creating something out of nothing. I like to see how something like a lump of clay or a ball of yarn or a piece of fabric can turn into something magical. And that has just always been around me since I was small. I love it. I'm very grateful that Even now with my husband and my kids, they also are very creative. So there's always something crafty and creative going on in our house, and I love it. I absolutely love it. If you were told that you could not crochet any more bears, what type of a question is this? No, I'm kidding. So if you were told that you could not crochet any more bears, what would be your next preferred animal? You guys, the closest thing to a bear is a bunny. So yes, I would probably move over to bunnies. I think the same amount of bear patterns I've got that same amount of bunny patterns. So my next preferred animal, definitely without a shadow of a doubt, would be bunnies. Have you ever crocheted a toy with movable limbs? No, you guys, it scares the heck out of me thinking about it. And it has stopped me from purchasing certain patterns, knowing that they require that you do the limbs as movable limbs, which I know is stupid because I can just sew them on. But there's quite a few. I have bought patterns where they required movable limbs or where they advise movable limbs, but I'm scared to death of it. So maybe that's something that I will try, because I know you get like almost like a safety eye. You get like that safety joint. I don't know what they call it, but maybe I will give it a go one day. But no, I've not crocheted any amigurumi that has got movable parts. All right, let's see. Last one. Why did you leave South Africa? So this was still from the same comment. We left South Africa for my husband's work. Now, he works for a firm that designs medical equipment, and he has worked for them for many, many years as their service manager in South Africa. It's a Danish company, so he's worked for this Danish company for years and years in South Africa, and then he got an opportunity to come and work in their head office, which is here in Copenhagen. Now, we never thought that we would move to Copenhagen. We always had in our minds that we wanted to move abroad, but we always thought it would be somewhere like the UK or Australia or New Zealand, you know, the usual places where South Africans immigrate to. And then we got this opportunity to move to Denmark, and it scared the heck out of me. I will not lie. But we moved here, packed up everything, shipped our belongings to Denmark, and we've been now here for almost 3.5 years, and we've loved it. It is amazing, the opportunities for the kids, they love it. But yeah, so we moved here for my husband's work. Alrighty. Next question, and I really like how this one started. My burning question, because I said, you guys, what are your burning questions? My burning question: how do you manage work, family, and just life in general so that you make time for your creative endeavors? And is it ever enough time? I don't know how to balance everything. I'm terrible at it. So I can tell you now, there's never enough time, and I do not get to everything. So I must be honest that my balancing act is non-existent. So I have a full-time, like a 9-to-5 job. I get home, then we go to the shop, buy like things for dinner, whatever groceries we might need, get home, make dinner. After we have dinner, then I start crocheting for an hour or two. Normally I'm so tired by then that I just go to bed. Weekends, as I mentioned before, I crochet like a mad person. In between, I'll do some washing. My kids actually do their own laundry. They are brilliant. I'm blessed with amazing kids. So they do their own laundry. And I'm a terrible housewife. You guys, I'm awful. I hate cleaning. The most about that I do is I load the dishwasher, I make dinner. Well, my husband and I equally, actually he's a much better cook than I am, but I don't know how to balance it all. So this is my answer. I don't have my act together. In an ideal world, I would not work, and I would just crochet. I don't know. I'm terrible. like I don't like working and I don't like housework. So I'm sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I do like crocheting, so I don't know. I will see if I ever manage to get myself together and get to everything. But at the moment, I can tell you now, housework is very, very last on my priority list. Next question. Did you join a crochet club in South Africa? No, not at all. I wasn't even close to a crochet club. I didn't even know about a crochet club. I did have my work bestie, Jasmine, who, she does have a channel, The Proud Protea. She hasn't posted in quite a few months. She moved to New Zealand just after we had moved to Denmark. We still have contact all the time. Well, not as much as I would like, but we still keep in contact. We crocheted a lot. So we did markets together in South Africa. We sort of had our two-person crochet club. One of the teachers in the school that I worked in, she also crocheted. So the three of us, we did a lot of chatting about crochet, you know, talking about patterns, talking about yarns. So it wasn't a specific crochet club. It was just like the three of us that worked together, that really enjoyed the craft together. But no, I've never officially been in a crochet club in South Africa. Next, and I wonder if this is probably the last question. Do you have some genius way to organize your electronic patterns so that you don't buy the same pattern twice? Do you hide your special treats from your kids? How many army books do you have? All right, I don't have a genius way for organizing my patterns. So all of my patterns are on my drive, my Google Drive, on my iPad. But they are not organized in a way that I actually know what's going on, because the end of last year I did buy a bear pattern, the same bear pattern, twice. I didn't realize it. I don't know how I missed that I had the pattern already. But it was on a sale, and then something happened and there was another sale, and I bought it twice on a sale. So no, I'm terrible at keeping track of my patterns. The other thing that happened, I had all of my patterns on a tablet when we were in South Africa. Then we moved here. I got a new tablet. I didn't have it backed up properly. I had to go search for patterns on Etsy, download them again, and then I had this whole incident with Etsy where I couldn't get into my personal Etsy profile. So I've got an Etsy profile for Craft to Believe After, and I've got a profile for Cassandra. Now the one that was under Cassandra was also the one where I sold my patterns on. And something happened with the Authenticator app. I couldn't get into my personal Etsy anymore. And this is why I, in the end, had to close my Etsy store. There was also some scamming that went on. It was just a disaster. So I lost a lot of patterns that was linked to my personal Etsy. Because I still can't to this day log in. I don't know how to log in. My Authenticator doesn't work. I can't reach anyone at Etsy. So I probably have millions of more patterns, but I don't remember them. Because over the last 10 years, I've bought a massive amount of patterns. So now I need to work on a better system of organizing my patterns. Do you hide your special treats from your kids? No, I don't. Actually, when I read this question to my husband, he started laughing. He said, no, because the kids get more treats than we do. So every now and again, when my husband and I go to the supermarket to buy, the groceries, we would buy like a little chocolate for ourselves and eat it on the way home. But we don't, anything that's in the house that is available for everyone. So I don't hide anything from my kids, but I did have a good chuckle when I read this question. Then, how many army books do you have now? I do have a lot, you guys. I've got, and I had to count this one beforehand because I didn't know offhand how much or how many books I've got. But I have got only, and please don't feel sorry for me because it's such a small number. But I've got 58 amigurumi, just amigurumi books. That's not my crochet, my general crochet books or my sewing books or other crafty books. It's just amigurumi books. I've got 58, but that includes a few books that I've got on Kindle and a few books that I've got in a PDF version on my iPad. So in total, 58 books. I know you're probably thinking, Cassandra, you poor thing, how do you manage with so few books? I'm working on it, friends. I'm working to get them all. All right, you guys, I think this is everything. I hope I didn't miss out on any questions. If I did, please let me know in the comments. I will do a follow-up Q&A. I apologize for the length of this video. I know it is very, very, very long. Where are we now? I don't know. It's more than 20 minutes. Just the second part of this video after my first half hour cut off. But I hope you guys enjoyed the Q&A with me. It's like I said, I enjoy doing or listening to the Q&A of other YouTubers. So I hope that gave you a little look into my life. If there's anything more you would like to know, please pop it down below in the comments. I will gladly answer any other questions that you may have. Let me just quickly run through here. I hope I didn't miss anything. I thought there was a question about how we adjusted to Denmark. For some reason I thought I had seen a question like that. Maybe I'll answer it anyway, just in case I did miss a question. The kids love it here. So when we told our children, originally we were moving from South Africa to Denmark, my daughter burst into tears. She didn't want to move. I mean, she was only 8 when we told her. My son, he is very chilled. He was like, okay, well, let's see what happens. And we moved here, and it was just the kids went, we put them into an international school, so they with other children in a similar situation as what we are, parents that come on an international work assignment. You know, their lives are packed up. They're in this foreign country, you know, although we get along really well with just knowing English, it is a slight culture shock when you get to a place and you can't read the signs, you don't understand what anyone is saying. Although as soon as you say, excuse me, or I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying, people, almost everyone here speaks English really, really well. So we've never had any struggle with adapting into sort of the environment here. Like I say, my husband and I have settled into our jobs really nicely. The kids, they love their school, the opportunities they get. I mean, my daughter is now going on a trip to Austria, a skiing trip with the school. My son, he's been to Spain on a school trip. He's been on a creative writing summer school in the UK at the University of Cambridge. My husband travels regularly. I've been to Greece last year. In April, I'm going to Portugal for work. So it's a lot of different types of opportunities that we have here that we did not have in South Africa. So it is difficult to move to another country. I will not lie. Packing up everything that you are familiar with and moving to a different country with a different language and a different culture, it is difficult. But it is possible. And it's been fun. I've been loving it so far. So I hope, like I said, I don't even know if this was a question. For some reason I had in my mind, someone had asked me about settling into Denmark. But there you have it. I'm ending my Q&A on living in a different country. All right, you guys, that's it for this week. For those of you who've stuck through this entire video, thank you so much. I love hanging out with you guys every single week. I love chatting to you all in the comments. I know it takes me longer and longer to get to all the comments. I do apologize for that. But do know that I read all of them straight away. The minute I get that notification on my phone that there's a comment, I read it. I really enjoy hearing what you guys are up to. It's like this is my crochet group. And we are all part of this amazing crochet group, and I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, you guys, that's it. That's it for reals. I hope you've had a really good weekend so far. I hope you're enjoying some relaxing time, some crafting time. And as always, you guys, until I see you in the next video, stay safe and stay crafty.